Each week, we wake in the morning to go to our jobs. On the weekdays to earn a living. The translation of that, trance, Trance. Awake is a funeral for the dead. Mourning is what you do when you lose a loved one. You have to be in a weekdays to earn a living. Since earn is ashes, since earn are ashes for the dead. And job is Hebrew for persecution. And at the end of this, we get the weekend of the deal, and we're weakened. So, happy Monday. What's up?
I wanted to play that quick clip for you guys from B.o.B. in reference to the English language. Because there's been a couple of different times and opportunities that I've been able to come across some information, and the information clearly and absolutely tells us that the English language is witchcraft. That we learn how to spell through spelling in grade school, just as B.o.B. said. And one thing that he just highlighted me on is that, you know, that our spelling is even handwritten curses, and that's why they teach us cursive. Now, one thing you should notice is that they don't really teach cursive that much anymore in school, as of when, you know, say I myself, or when B.o.B., because I reckon he's around my age, I'm about 38 years old. You know, when we were in school, you know, cursive was a mandated thing, especially by the time you got to like maybe 4th or 5th grade. You know, once you were in middle school, you were definitely required to be able to write in cursive. Now, I want you guys to think about this, okay? Now, think about everything that B.o.B. just said, all right? And I want you to link this correlation with it. Now, you know the art or the technique of freehand writing, right? Now, the technique of freehand writing is also known as spirit writing. So technically, like he said, you know, the translation, the trance, Trance, is that you end up in a trance-like state where there is a spirit that overtakes your body and begins to write out messages for you. Now, I want you to do your own research on this, because this will astonish you. You will come to find out that cursive handwriting is very similar and almost synonymous with spiritual freehand writing. They look almost exactly the same. They look absolutely identical. And this can only make sense to those who have a mind that is awoke. Not awake, awoke. A mind that is awake is dead, just like he said. You know, think about how he put that together. You have to awake in the morning. Awake is a funeral, or it's a gathering just before the funeral for a dead person, and mourning is what you do for that dead person. So truth be told, they tell you that when you awake in the morning, you don't even awake alive. You awake as a dead person in this land. Because this land is a land of zombies. You know, that's where the whole zombie apocalypse and everything more or less generated. Now, there were already zombies and animated beings in the Hebrew. You know, we got golems. There were zombies and animated beings in Jamaica in voodoo. And they actually do call those zombies. They actually call them something else also. I don't know that term, so I'm not going to speculate. But they do also call them zombies. But as far as the zombie apocalypse is concerned, that was all American. That was an American creation. That's an American understanding. That is an American, if you will, lack of better words, tradition. Okay? And so they technically, they do their best to turn us into zombies. Now look how he broke that down. He said, to go to work, you got to be in a weekdays. All right? Now the weekdays are Monday through Friday, right? So he's saying that you have to be put in a weekdays, weekdaze, to go through the weekdays of work. right? Then at the end of the week work, or the work week, you have the weekend. This is real interesting about that. When you look at that word, weekend is almost spelled exactly the same. Except, you change one of the E's into an A, and then you add an E between the N and the D. And then you have the word weekend. But it's relatively the same thing as he mentioned it. It's the weekend. You've been weakened through 5 days, through 5 weekdays, through 5 days of a week of weakness. You end up weekend for the last 2 days. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Now, the only beautiful and wonderful thing about that is that you are supposed to rest on the Sabbath. You are supposed to rest on the Sabbath. But the way America has it, you party on the Sabbath and you rest on Sunday. That's because America has everything that is totally against the God of Israel, the true God, the one and only living God. One other thing he mentioned, and I want to break this down for you guys also. He said this. He said, Job is Hebrew for persecution, okay? Now, I pronounced it Job because that's the Hebrew pronunciation of it. The American pronunciation of it is Job. Now, Job in the Bible was persecuted by Satan, okay? Put this together, people. Job in the Bible was persecuted by Satan, by authority and allowance given by God, because God was so willingly adamant to prove that Job was faithful. So God allowed Satan to persecute Job, and his persecution was harsh. Incredibly harsh. He lost his entire family except his wife. He lost his entire livelihood, all of his stock, his homes, everything. The one person he should have lost was his wife. But naturally, she had to be there because she was a devil's advocate. It was the devil that was persecuting her, or him. It was the devil that was persecuting Job. So Satan needed an advocate right there next to Job. When Job finally got rid of his wife, got her out of his face, then one of his friends began to persecute him. Now, I want you to put this together, okay? He says the word job is Hebrew for persecution. Now, I want you to think about this. When you get a job, they say you have an occupation, right? Well, what is another term for occupation? What is another terminology for the word occupation? Slavery. What was the Assyrian occupation? What was the Babylonian occupation? What was the Roman occupation? It was enslavement. It was rulership over those who were under that occupation, who were under that persecution. So your job is meant for you to employ the use of occupation upon yourself. Wow. Isn't that heavy? That is crazy, incredibly heavy. And then he says, Happy Monday. I just wanted y'all to get that. Put that together a little bit yourself. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, emoji. Any kind of interaction is greatly warranted and highly accepted. Like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube page here, The Modern Day Prophet here. Like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube page on Facebook, which is also The Modern Day Prophet on Facebook. Again, I am your modern day prophet, Nabi Ahaya Alahayakum, Malek Boaz Ban Yochanan Ban Dawi Wa Yahuda. In English or American language, that is King Brian Johnson, son of David of Judah. And I bid you all Baruch and Shalom. Shalom. Bahashem Yahawashai.